Stop recording button. Double tap to activate.
Hello, my yarn lovers, my fiber artists, my crafty and creative people, and hey, just the craft curious spectators. All right. Well, yes, this video is about yarn. All right, and this video is going to be a yarn review. And the yarn that we are going to talk about today is the Knit Picks We Crochet Shine Sport. And the Shine Sport, well, they call it a sport. In my opinion, let's take a look at it and see. I personally think it's a little bit of a thick sport, right? I think it's closer to a DK weight. But you know, you get it, you work with it, you be the judge of that. But I do think it's a little bit thick for a sport. So here is the label if you want to look at it. And if you're a returning viewer, hey, thank you so much for choosing to come back, hang out, spend a little bit of your day with me, talk yarn with me. I just love to talk yarn. So if you are new here, hi, my name is May. I love yarn, I love to knit and crochet. Those are my hobbies, and I also happen to have been born visually impaired. I am completely colorblind. I have been my whole life. I'm going to do my very best to describe to you the colors, though, in this video. And tell you about the yarn. I do get on the internet. I do go back to the websites. I do my homework. I try to check my facts because I can't really read much of my yarn labels. But this is the Shine Sport. I believe it's about 110 yards. It is made out of, oh, and also this video is not sponsored by Knit Picks or We Crochet. I am not affiliated with them in any way. I am just a happy customer. They did not ask me to make this video. They don't know I'm making this video. And they certainly did not send me free yarn to make this video. Okay, let's get into the details now. All that intro stuff out of the way, right? Okay, so this yarn is it's 60% Pima cotton, right? So if you know your cotton, that's Pima cotton. We know that's going to be a nice soft garment cotton. And then it is 40% of something called modal beechwood fiber. What the heck is that, right? Yeah, I know. When I first bought it years and years and years ago, I was skeptical. What is beechwood fiber? And how long ago was that, May? Well, let me tell you how long ago it was. This is it in the color bison. This is so old. This is a discontinued color. You can't even get this color anymore, but it's still a nice, beautiful brown. But that is how long ago that I was purchasing this yarn. Now, since then, they have brought in a new shade of the brown, a coffee, I believe. It's just a touch darker even than this, I believe. But I bought this yarn really not knowing. I didn't have any idea what beechwood fiber would feel like at all. But I was pleasantly surprised. I'm just going to tell you, as soon as I touched it, there is a sheen, there is a smoothness, there is a softness to this yarn. This yarn is very, very soft. It is soft to knit with. It is soft to crochet with. It is incredibly soft to wear. Yeah, I am not disappointed, but rather pleasantly surprised. It is way nicer than I would have ever even imagined. So it is machine washable, and it is tumble dry. And because it is cotton and this beechwood fiber, it's of course a great alternative for those who are allergic to animal fibers, right? If you're allergic to wools or mohairs or alpaca or cashmere, any of the animal fibers, this is a great choice for you. And of course, because it's machine washable and it is so soft and so smooth, it is, I think, in my opinion, an excellent choice for babies. let's just look at some of the things that I've made. I'm going to show you about 5 different things that I've made with this yarn. Now, all of these have made an appearance on my channel. Every one of these projects I worked on after I started my channel. Check these out. These are some knit vine lace fingerless gloves. I absolutely love these. These are so smooth. These are so soft. I kind of want to make these in more colors. I'm just saying, okay? I even made stockings to match. These are like full on over the knee stockings also in the vine lace. I've had these on in videos. I've worked on these in videos before. They are so soft for your feet. I also kind of want to make some socks, okay? More socks. Maybe not full on over the knee stockings. But if you're wanting like some nice, if you're wanting to make socks, something that's really soft and smooth and gentle on your feet. Look, I left a little bit of a tail there. I would definitely make more socks out of this yarn. It feels really, really nice on my feet. It feels nice on my legs. I think you could make adult socks. I think you could make baby socks out of this yarn. I'm loving these fingerless gloves, especially like with mine because they're lace, right? I think these make beautiful like summer, like springtime. If you're going out in the springtime and you do some lace, it'll give you just a little bit of warmth. But you know, it's not like wool. Like in the spring, you don't necessarily want to wear wool gloves, but you might want a little bit of extra warmth on your arms. I think it's really nice for that. Also, you could make a pair of beautiful lace gloves in black, right, or red or something, and wear them out in the evening if you're going to a nice, you know, dinner or like a show, you know, musical theater. I used to go to live theater events all the time when I lived in Portland. I had season tickets to Portland Center Stage, and so I would go to live theater events often, and I could see where these some type of gloves and these in like a black or a red or a purple would be just beautiful and elegant to wear out for something like that. I have also well, here's a hat. You're going to see all of these upcoming items now, these 3, and I think some well, you might see the Finish It Friday video before it comes out or after. I'm not sure. But this is a hat. I did not design this hat myself. It is, I think it's called by My Busy Fingers, a crochet sun hat. I will do my best to find a link to that and link that up in the description box below. This was crocheted on a size a 3.5 millimeter hook in single crochet with some single crochets and then some chain spaces. And I'm going to be honest with you, well, let me finish showing you the projects that we're going to discuss. And then this is a tank top that I did design myself. I designed this and I knit it myself. You got some garter stitch on the bottom, and then across the midriff area you've got some nice columns of vertical lace. You got a little garter stitch band under the bust. Then you got some stockinette stitch on the bust, and you've got some nice lace, a little lace inset that I put in there. And then of course I did my favorite, right? I love working with the vine lace. I did some vine lace for the straps. And then because I'd really only done this one crochet project with it, and I did have some issues with that, I will talk about that, I decided I should crochet with it just a little bit more to get a better perspective. Maybe crochet with a bigger hook, more with a double crochet, not just single crochet, right? This is mostly this hat and the pageant, by the way, if you're visually impaired. This last tank top that I designed myself was knit in pageant. The hat was crocheted in pageant, single crochet in the color pageant, which is a beautiful purple. The stockings and the fingerless gloves were in white. And this tank top that I'm going to show you that I just finished designing myself, you can catch videos on my channel about this. This is knit and crocheted. I designed it myself. It's got some double crochet on the bottom, and then a little bit of half double crochet before I transitioned over to the knit. And then I went back to a little more crochet for the trim. And then did some crochet straps And you can find videos on how I went from the crochet to the knit. I have what's a demonstration of how to pick up and knit from crochet, and I show you how I did that. I worked that in the double crochet, and then I went back and put these little crochet shells on the strap. So when I knit with it, when I do the vine lace stockings, the gloves, and the pageant tank top, all of it, absolute joy. This yarn is so smooth and soft on your hands when you knit with it or crochet with it. It feels good on the hands. It feels smooth on the hands. It's a joy to work with. It's a joy to wear. It is smooth. It is soft. I have pretty much no problems knitting with this yarn. I have been knitting for about 16 years. The only problems you'll see that I had knitting with this yarn was in my demonstration video, where I showed you how to pick up and knit from the crochet. And during that, I did struggle. You'll see I struggled to get my knitting needle into those crochet stitches. You have to go into the back loop only, thread them onto the knitting needle, and then knit them through the back loop. And so when I was picking up those stitches, I definitely had some issues where I was struggling to find just the back loop, and then I was splitting my yarn a little bit. And part of it's the angle that I have to work at as well when I do that type of demonstration with, because I just have a phone to work with on a little tiny short boom. So I'm very limited in my camera space. But other than that, I had no problems knitting with this yarn. I really love knitting with it. I want to make lots more stuff with it, okay? I do. Now, when I made this hat, I did have some issues with splitting. I did. But I've said it before in other videos, I am new to crochet. I've been crocheting for less than a year. And I really struggle to work with the finer yarns and on smaller hooks. And I'm visually impaired. I knit and crochet by feel. And so I really have to feel the yarn, manipulate it more with my fingers. And so I think that makes it more prone to splitting. So when I made this hat, in the crochet and the single crochet and the chain one, I did have a few issues with splitting with that fine hook, which is why I went ahead and made the tank top as well, because I wanted to work in double crochet with it. I thought, you know what, I didn't have those issues with splitting when I knit. Is it going to be different if I work with a bigger hook, right, and do some double crochet? And so I did. And so the white tank top that I designed is I used a 4.25, so a G crochet hook, and that made a huge difference in all of it. From the half, I did some half double crochets here at the neck. I went from the knitting and I went back to half double crochet at the top to finish it off. And so I did not have issues with splitting. When I did the double crochet on the G hook on the 4.25 and the half double crochet, no problems with splitting. So I think it's a factor of the only time I had issues with splitting was with the 3.5 millimeter hook and the single crochet and the picking up in the back loop, and that's it. Other than that, I think that it's really it's easy to work with, even if you're new to crochet. You know, if you're working with a big enough hook and you're doing some double crochets, it's easy, it's fun, it's smooth. I think that this yarn is really good for garments. If you're looking for like some nice summer wear, like I did, like these tank tops and stuff, I want to make more summer wear with it. I do. I want to make more tank tops. I want to make dresses. I want to make skirts. Now, of course, I know I have to move on because I do want to do more yarn reviews for you all. And I got a whole bunch of other yarn. So I can't spend all my time working with the Shine Sport, right? Even though I want to. I've got all kinds of ideas in my head now. But let me show you a few of the colors that we have. Of course, we do have this should be the leftover pageant, which is a nice purple, which is the color of the tank top and the hat. And then, wouldn't you know it, of the colors that I could find in my house, you know, I had the other purple, right? It also comes in a nice, I think an even darker purple called Serenade. So I have to be careful and make sure I don't mix these up, but I can hold them next to each other if you want to see the two purples together. My guess is that the Serenade is just a little bit darker than the Pageant, but they're both beautiful, beautiful purples. I've got all kinds of thoughts and ideas with these yarns, like more socks maybe. I don't know. And then, of course, I showed you the Bison, which you can no longer get. And then, of course, right, what else would May have? May would have both the reds. Yeah, you can get two beautiful reds. This is called Currant, which is the really dark, almost a burgundy brownish red. You know I have that. Now that is in the plastic in a beautiful 10-pack, so we're going to leave it in the plastic. But I do have the other red. They have a real bright, fiery red called Serrano. Look at that. That's so pretty. This is definitely a brighter, lighter red than the Currant. So, you know, if I'm going to have two of the, you know, colors in two different shades, you know it'd be the purples and the reds, right? You know it. So, yeah, I got the Serrano, the Currant, the Pageant, and the Serenade. But they also have a lot of blues. They've got 4 or 5 different blues, from your light sky blue all the way to a dark sailor. They got some greens in there. Besides the reds, they got some pinks. They got your neutrals too, of course, right? They got something called Robot, which I believe is sort of a silvery gray. And they've got the coffee for the brown, and I think they got a couple of other lighter browns as well. So they have a really nice selection of colors in a variety of shades, right? You're going to have more than one shade of blue, of green, of red, of purple, of brown. So there's a nice color selection. Now I will tell you that Shine does also come in a number 4 worsted weight. So as much as I want to keep working with this pile of beautiful Shine Sport, if I want to make, and I do want to make a dress out of it, I really do, I want to make a dress, but I'm telling myself maybe I should use the worsted weight for that, so it'll go faster, right? But with the Sport, I would say yes to fingerless gloves, yes to socks, yes to scarves, yes to shawls, yes to tank tops, yes to baby clothes, yes to household items even, like coasters and table runners. Placemats I think would be beautiful because it is machine washable, right? Now, you certainly could make a baby blanket out of this. This is so soft, but I'd probably go up to the worsted weight. I mean, obviously you can make a blanket out of any, you know, any yarn that you want, right? But the worsted weight would certainly go faster. You can make a blanket out of Shine, out of a sport weight yarn, but it's just going to take you longer. So, you know, there are people who make blankets out of fingering weight yarn. So if you want to, you can. But if you want to get your blanket done faster, right? You could probably do that out of the worsted weight with the Shine. And of course, you could make your dishcloths as well. You could make washcloths. You know, sometimes we want a smooth washcloth, but sometimes we want something with a little more roughage for like exfoliating our skin. But if you want something really soft on your skin, or like something for a baby, like specifically, you know, to wash a baby, like a baby washcloth, this would be a really, really nice yarn for that, to make some little specialty baby washcloths, because it's so soft on the skin. So I certainly think you could do your household items with it. Just because it is machine washable, you could do your dishcloths. You could do, I probably wouldn't make dishcloths out of it per se, but of course you could, right? I just kind of like the rougher stuff for that. I like the dishy and the, you know, and the other yarns for that. But of course you could. But it would be very smooth, certainly. So I think that probably if I was going to do bigger items like baby blankets and dresses and cardigans, even skirts, I would probably jump up to the worsted weight, even though I really want to work with this pile of sport weight, right? I've got skirts in my head that I'm designing with all this beautiful yarn right now. I'm telling myself, work with the worsted. It'll go much faster. So realistically, that's probably what I will do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what you see in the future. Oh gosh, I mean, I I can't think of really anything that I wouldn't make with this. I'm just saying, like, money wise, it's not a super expensive yarn. I think it's about $4.99, I believe, for a skein. It's only 110 yards, so it's not, it's okay yardage wise. That's probably an okay price. I think it's actually a pretty good price for, in my opinion, for the yarns that I use. I think the $4.99 is a good price. That said, can you get like sort of the utilitarian cottons for like things like dishcloths, and water bottle things and tote bags and stuff like that cheaper? Absolutely. So I wouldn't necessarily make sort of like my hard wearing everyday, tote bags and market bags out of it, just because I think there's more affordable, economical cottons that you can do with that. But you could make like a little purse with this stuff. You can make like a purse or a handbag or something that would have like a nice little shine to it. It's a really shiny yarn. I don't know if that's coming across or not on the camera or not, but it just really has a beautiful shine and a beautiful finish to it. So yeah, I recently finished both of these tank tops, and I'll be honest with you, I just want to keep going with it. I just want to keep creating and keep designing and keep doing more with it. But that will not help me to make yarn reviews for my channel, right? If I just keep working with the same yarn over and over and over. I mean, I would still have projects to share with y'all, and that could still be okay, right? We could still whip it on Whip Wednesday. We could still do some finishing Friday videos with it, but it wouldn't give me as much content. So I'm telling myself to put this aside, move on to other yarns, right? There's other yarns in the world, somebody might need to tell me that. So anyways, yeah, I believe that they recommend a 3 to 5 knitting needle, right? So up to 3.75, I believe, with that. I think you could, because it's thicker, I think you could even go to a 4. Like I said, I did the double crochet on a 4.25 millimeter hook, and I think that's just fine. I believe for the straps on the tank top, I went down to probably a number 2 or maybe even a 1.5. I can't remember. I should take notes. I don't even think I took notes on that. But I probably went down to a 1.5 or a 2 for the straps. But I think, me, I just kind of play with my hook and needle size. So I wouldn't be surprised if I went for anywhere from a 1.5 on the knitting needle to a 4.25 on the crochet hook. I like to just experiment and see how yarns look with different needles and hook sizes. So yeah, that's my review of it. I really don't have anything negative at all to say about this yarn, except that it is challenging for me. The only time I really had the splitting was doing single crochet on the 3.5 millimeter hook. This pattern is beautiful, and it's definitely worth, it takes patience, right? It definitely takes patience to do, single crochet on a 3.5 millimeter hook. But if you want a beautiful sun hat with that beautiful flower, I say do it. I say enjoy it. You'll get a beautiful project out of it. But that you might have some issues, but other than that, I really can't I don't have negatives to say about this. I can tell you that I want to make a whole wardrobe of clothing out of this yarn, because it is so soft on the skin, and it's definitely a next to your skin yarn, right? It's not one where you have to make a sweater and be like, oh, I gotta wear a t-shirt or something underneath it. There are some wools that you have to do that with. This is not one of them. This is a tank top next to your skin. You can make scarves out of this for sure. Socks, all the things that go next to your skin. It's very, very gentle and smooth. So yeah, I could make a whole summer wardrobe out of the Shine Sport. Okay, so that's my review. I definitely say, I don't believe it's on sale right now, but you know what? Knit Picks and We Crochet have sales often. Okay, I believe they usually have a summer sale at some point. You know that. If you're a frequent customer there, I know that. So, if you're not in a hurry, if you really want to get your hands on it right now, I say, get a little bit of it, try it, play with it always. And then if you really like it, if you can wait, wait for a sale. But hey, if you can't and you can't afford it, by all means, get it when you want and start creating, start designing, start making yourself a beautiful collection of summer take tops, summer wear, socks for yourself, socks for the kiddos, blankets, toys, stuff for the grandkids. I think it'd be great for kids and babies. All the things with it. Alrighty, my friends. Well, thank you so much for listening. Please say hello in the comment section. Let me know if you've worked with Shine Sport. Have you knit with it? Have you crocheted with it? Do you have a similar opinion? Of course, your opinions are always welcome. I don't mind at all if you have different opinions than me or from somebody else in the comment section. Just stay respectful, right? We can have different opinions in this world and still get along. We can still say, hey, I love knitting, but I didn't enjoy this yarn. You can say, I really didn't enjoy crocheting with it. That's totally fine. But I'm just one person out there. I'm just sharing my experiences out here. So, if yours are different, you're still welcome to share that. And I should say, too, when I crocheted these hats, when I do my crochet, when I talk about having issues with splitting, I am using just, cheap aluminum boy hooks. So perhaps I do need to, get out some nicer hooks and experiment with some nicer hooks and see if that makes any difference for me in my crocheting experience. I have thought about that. When I reviewed a couple of yarns, I thought, I wonder if I should crochet with nicer hooks, if that would make a difference. But I actually like my boy hooks. I think they're okay. But I have heard, like I don't own Susan Bates hooks. I don't own tulip hooks. I don't own those hooks. So, I can't say that they might, they might completely, you might not have any issues with splitting when you crochet and single crochet for this hat if I had a different hook. Because I've been told by so many people that your hook can make a big difference. So that's really all I have to say about it. Please feel free to share your experience with me and with everybody else out there. And of course, if you enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel so you won't miss any of the content. Did you know that subscribing to a YouTube channel is completely free? It won't cost you anything. Yeah, that's right. And you'll find all kinds of content on my channel. You'll find knitting, you'll find crochet, you'll find demonstration, how-to videos. I do at least one Whip Wednesday video a week. I try to anyway, where we just hang out and craft together. I just like to show my projects, inspire you, give you some ideas, give you some tips, and of course you will find other topics on my channel as well. So if you're just here for the yarn and you're not interested in the disability stuff or the mental health stuff, totally okay. Alrighty, my friends. Well, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, happy stitching!
Pause.